So thank you for coming today. So my first question is that can you tell us your name, your age?
Okay, my name is Igor Sekimoto Silva. I'm 26.
Okay, and your nationality?
I'm from Brazil.
When did you come to Japan?
4, 5.
Okay.
I only did my last year of high school in Brazil.
Ah, I see. Okay. Thank you so much. What kind of work are you doing now in Japan?
So right now I'm teaching English. I teach all sorts of. So I was teaching 2-year-olds.
So it's kind of freelance.
Yes.
Work. Okay, nice. Why did you want to work?
Okay, so when I went back to Brazil, I had the opportunity to work there a little, and I saw that growing up here, there was no point in me going back because it felt like a downgrade, like I lived in a first world country, and then suddenly I went back to Brazil because my parents expected me to. But after a while, I decided I wanted to come back. It's easier to get by. There's more quality of life, more convenient.
Okay. What kind of job have you done in the past? I mean, in Brazil.
So when I was in Brazil, I did internships. I was also teaching. So I worked at a few schools. In Japan, I've worked a lot more jobs. So I've done factory work. I used to work for Panasonic for a year. I've worked at Ropia, which is a company that makes cakes for Family Mart. And I worked a lot at restaurants, so izakayas, but mostly part-time.
Yeah, I see.
Yes.
So can you tell me things, if there were any, that were difficult while working in Japan? So any cultural differences or working, any difficulties you felt?
I think the expectations, I guess, are a little different than. I have no experience in other countries except Brazil, but for example, at work, you're expected to. There's a lot of rules, and you're expected to follow all the rules. And sometimes it might seem like you as a worker have an idea on how to do something a way, maybe an easier way, but management wouldn't want to hear about it. They want you to do things the way it's done because it's been done that way, and that's how you should do it. So I think that's different.
Okay, thank you very much. What was your image before coming to Japan, like working in Japan, and what was the reality like? Is it same or is it a little bit different from your imagination?
I guess it's more or less what I expected. I see Japanese people are very hardworking. I would say they're workaholics. And so I kind of already had an idea.
But there is also the differences between the working style in your country, home country, and Japan.
I think maybe not something that I've experienced a little, but not an issue for me. But what I know is that in Japan, there's a lot of there's a pecking order, right? And the older you are in a company, means you have more power, and it's not very based on merit. Countries in the West usually put a lot more emphasis on merit. So if you do really well, even though you've been in a...
Okay, thank you so much. So do you want to live or do you want to work in Japan in the future?
Actually, no, I don't know. Because I've been teaching for around 3-4 years, but I'm married and my wife is American, and we were actually like recently thinking about, do we want to stay here? Do we want to go back? Do you want to go to America? I've never lived in America, so I don't know. Yeah, but we were thinking about it, and as of right now, we decided to stay because it's comfortable, working, and it would be a lot of stress moving and having to do all of that.
Okay. So can I ask that your wife is also working in Japan?
Yes. She started out teaching English as well, but now she is doing also freelance, very sporadic schedule. She does like modeling, and she's a dancer, and sometimes she does music video, like backup dancer things. Yeah. Yes. So we're both doing it, and so far it works. But sometimes, some months, the job doesn't come, and we have to get into our savings. But yeah, it's actually,
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Was there any moment when you think you was kind of Japanese, so like more Japanese than foreigner? Did you experience?
So I think I'm shy in like large group settings, and that's something that I would attribute is more Japanese. I think I've visited America, and in Brazil I've lived as well. Sometimes in parties and things like that, like the expectation people have of a Brazilian guy, very outgoing, very energetic, I can be that, but usually I'm not like the loudest person in the room, you know, like I'm a little laid back, shy. Sometimes I really like hiking and camping, and I actually enjoy like being by myself. So I don't like big parties all the time, things like that. So I think that's more of a Japanese thing too, like enjoying the small things, enjoying like your own company.
Yeah, that's true. So your personality is more like Japanese.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Okay, nice. Do you have any interesting story about coming to Japan, or any funny story?
So, like I said, I used to work at a restaurant. There was nomikais. This one time there was a nomikai where we did our shift, finished around 10. Yeah, we closed at 10. And so we drank all night, right? Until the typical like drink at a place until 2, and then karaoke until 4, until first train, right?
Yeah.
And I remember in this time I used to live in Chofu, very west Tokyo, kind of like an hour from where I used to work. I used to work in Asakusa.
Okay.
And going home, I passed out on the train. Like I fell asleep. Like I was really drunk. And I woke up around 9 a.m. on the Yamanote line. And I didn't have to go to the Yamanote line to go home. I was probably doing circles on the Yamanote line for like 2-3 hours. And I lost my phone. Got off, I talked to the train station people, and I actually found my phone later in one of the Yamanote line stations. I think it was in Yotsuya or something. And that's something that I wouldn't expect from any other country. Like I've also lost my wallet several times in Japan, like in a seat in a bus, or like really drinking. But it's a very good culture of like, hey, let's help each other out. Like you see something on the floor, you report it to the koban, or you report it to the respective authority. And I've never lost anything, so it's pretty good.
So always coming back.
Yeah.
Just if you have any message to foreigners who are thinking of working in Japan or planning to work in Japan?
I guess for people that want to come to Japan, don't spend much time in their apartment at all. Like they go to work, and then they go drinking with their friends or whatever, then they just go home to sleep. So it's a smaller place, and it's I think expensive. On the other hand, food is a lot cheaper if you get used to the Japanese palate. If you get used to eating like ramen and soba and like gyudon, things like that, it's sometimes cheaper than cooking at home. So if you don't know how to cook, Japan is really good for you. Yeah, for working, Japan has a lot of work. There's no shortage of jobs for you to choose from. As long as people are not too picky, there will always be a job for them to do. Japan is a really good country to be. I think you can be, just doing a part-time job, you can still afford your rent and your iPhone and your MacBook. Like, it's doable. So
Do you recommend everyone
yeah,
come to Japan and work here? Okay. Thank you very much for having time today.
No problem.
Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.